got this friend who drives a car. The only way to describe it is it's just a piece of crap. It's just the worst car on the planet. I mean, I don't know. And here's the problem, is the guy actually has money, like a lot of money. But he's just become a freak about this car. He'll spend money on other stuff. He takes his family on vacation, and they've got a nice house. But it's like this car is some kind of a reverse status symbol for this guy. And Lord willing, more people would be like that rather than driving around in cars you can't afford with car payments to impress people at a stoplight you'll never meet. A lot of you spend a lot of money to impress people you will never meet with your car. And I've got some nice cars. I like cars. I'm a car boy. There's no question about that. But, man, when we were broke, we were driving. Start with I was driving a Jaguar, and then I went broke, and I sold it the day before they took it. So that they didn't take it to avoid the repossession, the proper thing to do, to try to pay my bills. Of course, I didn't pay the whole bill. I had to sign a note for the difference, and it was part of the bankruptcy. It was a disaster. And so we're down to one car. So a friend of mine loaned me a car like my buddy has. He loaned me a true story, a 1978 Cadillac with 478,000 actual miles on it. The predominant color on this puppy was Bondo. It had a vinyl roof, and when you drove it, the vinyl roof was broken loose, so it filled up with air like a parachute on top. So I'm driving Bondo buggy with a parachute on top. I drove that car for 10 years, 1 3-month period. But I saved some money, buddy, because I wanted out of that car. I wanted to take my friend his blessing back. But it rolled. It started. Most of the time, it started. Most of the time, it rolled. And it got me there. It was really, really embarrassing. Humiliating is a better word, to drive that car to our church. Because the church we were going to, people didn't have cars. Like, they had nice cars. A lot of them were in debt and had car payments. I knew that, but I'm still sitting there driving Bondo buggy with a parachute on top up to the church. I park it, and the top settles, like, it drops down. That seems like 20 minutes ago. It was almost 30 years ago. I drove like no one else so that later I could drive like no one else. So now I've got nice cars again. And of course, this time they're a very small percentage of our net worth. A very small percentage of our net worth. And of course, I paid cash for them. And they just, in other words, they're a small enough percentage of our world, they don't matter. Well, my buddy's got money, and were he to buy at least one decent car, it would be a very small percentage of his world. He's probably worth $20 million. I don't know, but something like that. And he's driving this $200 car. And it's ticking me off. Because I'm like, dude, you are not modeling success here. This is not anything to be proud of. You drive a $200 car so that you never have to drive a $200 car again. That's the only reason you drive a $200 car. Not because it's a badge of honor. It's not something to be proud of, son. And I can't get through to him, so I don't know what I'm going to do with him. But he's the reverse of most Americans. Most Americans, the average car payment in America is $386 over 84 months right now. Driving a car you can't afford. Not even close to being able to afford it. And then scratching your head and wondering why your kid's college fund isn't funded. Well, you're driving it. You're driving the college fund. That's why. I mean, I get why my friend has become such a freak about his car. I get why he's thinking that way. Because so many other people, most other people, are the opposite end of the spectrum. I mean, he's a little overboard and a little bit freaky about this old beat-up car. But most of you are just stupid. I mean, just most of America is just straight up car stupid. You fleece your car, acting like when you rented your car, you did a good deal. Give me a break. And the stupid thing loses 60 to 70% of its value when you buy a new one in the first 4 years that you drive it. So you turn $30,000 into $11,000 and then scratch your head and wonder why you can't get ahead financially. What if all your investments, what if all your IRAs, you put money in a mutual fund, every time you did it, you turned $30,000 into $11,000? Well, everyone knows that's a formula for not getting rich. Hello. This is not hard to think about, people. It's the largest thing we buy that goes down in value. That's why my friends become a freak about it. He's like, I don't want to put money in something that goes down in value. I'm like, yeah, but you're embarrassing me and everybody else that knows you. Buy a car, son. Even if you only spend 10 grand. I mean, it's what, 1/100% of his net worth or something. But the rest of you are you're making $30,000 a year. You're driving $17,000 car. Well, that's just nuts. That's just nuts. You got a household income of $60,000 and mama gets a $32,000 SUV. Somebody ought to smack you. That's just nuts. You do not have the financial margin to lose $30,000, to lose $10,000, to lose $12,000. Now, if you've got enough money that you can throw $12,000 off the edge of a bridge and it not damage you, then you can afford to drive a car that expensive. But this idea that you can just, I can afford it, what most people mean when they say that is they think they can pay the payment if they keep their job. Well, let me help you with a new definition of I can afford it. I wrote a check and paid for it. That's the definition of I can afford it. If you can't pay for it in cash, in total, on the spot, cash on the barrelhead, you can't afford it. Whatever it is. Your car, your clothes, your groceries. Some of you are charging groceries. Talk about financing a depreciating asset. Wow. We've lost our minds in this culture, guys. We really have. And all of it is because people have been sold stuff and sold stuff and sold stuff. And they've got this entitlement thing. And they say, I meet 42-year-old men who say stuff like, I deserve a nice truck because I work hard. You don't deserve anything, you little child. Because you work hard. What do you think that makes you pregnant? Nobody else is out here not working hard. Well, some of them aren't, but I mean, everybody works hard, deserves to go deeply in debt and buy a truck they can't afford. Is that what you're saying? That's your philosophy of life? How stupid and backward is this? So here's an idea. Pay cash for your cars and don't let your cars and boats be more than half your take-home pay, and then that's an indication that you're not got too much invested in things that are going down in value. I'm not against cars. I'm not against car dealers. I'm against people doing stupid stuff with cars that cause them to be broke, and that includes car payments and fleecing your stupid car. There we go. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.